in concrete means more in this country
than a
than a
black
black
person's
woman's
life.
life.
But and then they're gonna and then
That's
okay,
crazy.
and this is so
Rest in
I'm
peace,
gonna
man.
say this right now for all you people that are like, oh well, she got fucking 12 million, her family got $12 million. Fuck you, if you think that that's okay. Oh, that's justification.
Already covered
No.
it. We talked about that.
Did we?
Yeah, we already talked about it at the top. I already know where you're going with that. We already talked about that at the top because that money comes from the community. It's already a poor fucking community.
No, that's not even what I was
and you're
gonna
take
say.
the tax money
But
from there to pay their
saying,
family with.
like that's gonna be the justification for the next however long. Oh, well, her family got money.
Hey,
so, why? Why is that enough?
What if when a
Why is
police
that
officer,
enough?
you can't tell me how much money is worth my loved one's life. So fuck anybody that says that. Let me blow your loved one's family's brains out and give you some money for it. You stupid motherfucker. That's what I would say to anybody that says that. But imagine this though, common sense leadership. What if the rule was, if one of your officers, you police gang units, if you gang police units, if one of your police officers unlawfully murders an American citizen, it comes out of your budget. See, because if it came out of their police budget, this shit wouldn't happen.
Their personal.
This shit
if
would
they
happen.
lost their pension.
No, if they
had to give their pension to that family.
add that to it. If
know
you
what
were,
I'm saying?
if you, because the
It'd be
thing
way
is,
different.
if I had a net worth of about 3.5 million and I killed somebody,
and I had to give all that
I'm
up?
liable to have to give all that up to the
Right.
person I killed too, if they can come get me in a wrongful death suit.
They're probably not gonna do it, but that's not gonna happen.
But they want an OJ to pay the Goldmans $30 million though.
The bullshit, because the next
that shit ain't fair.
And then the next fucking president, even if we get fucking Biden, isn't gonna do any of this.
No president has ever done anything about it.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Shout out to Barack Hussein Obama, who did introduce a national non-racial profiling bill, but that shit sat in the halls of Congress. These motherfuckers, all these people in your face talking about Black Lives Matter, they could do something about this. They can. This shit is. See, racist white people with power will have you think that freedom is such a hard thing to figure out. No, it's harder to figure out how to enslave humans and coordinate that shit with 5, 10, 15 different continents without the fucking internet and the cell phone. Nigga, that's harder. It's harder to do that shit than it is to say, hey, you know what? We need to like make a living wage possible. You know what? Black people do deserve some type of reparation package. You know what? We need to do more to shorten this gap of equality and wage disparities and things like that. Hey, at the end of the day, is it so hard that we get black people and hire them to be the police officers in their own community? Because I'm gonna get off this and I'm gonna say this with one thing, and we'll lighten it up. If you ready to. I told my mans, I'm like, yo, what do you think would happen if every white person that we've ever known, every white person, woke up tomorrow and every officer they seen was black? Woke up tomorrow and every time they went into an establishment and they had a problem and needed to speak to a supervisor, they were black. They woke up tomorrow and when they went to drop their kids off at school, they noticed every goddamn teacher
was black
and every adult working there, with the exception of the basketball coach, was black. I'm asking this because now that you've pictured this.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Do you know where that's finna happen?
No, hold on. Wait, stop. Let me finish this first. Then, because I just want to see where you was going with it. Where, if that was gonna happen, if that happened, what do you think said white person would do? Do you think these white people would drop their kids off at a school where every fucking adult there was black? Do you think these white people
probably gonna move?
Do you think these white people would not be at the first city hall meeting? The first city hall meeting to be like, yo, you can't get no white cops. You can't get no you can't get no white officers out here. Hold on, especially if they could tell the city hall and the city council men and women that, hey, you do realize 80%. No, hold on, no. 80% of this community is white. Why is all the fucking cops black and Hispanic? I'm asking because we're told to conform to society. Anytime we do anything that's not of what they would do, it's a problem. Or they're commenting on it. Or there's some kind of like campaign to get it the fuck removed from the cultural norms. But I'm asking any white person that hears this, and all my white friends and family that love me, I'm asking this question, but you know me, so I've already asked you this question in your fucking face. What do you do when you go to drop your kid off? All the schools, all the teachers are black. Even though you know there is a large percentage of white, educated, qualified people, what do you do?
So, this is what I'm gonna implore black people to do. Black people with money, black families with money, black families that know black families with money. You see what's about to go on in Georgia. You see there are 636 acres of land bought by black families to start their own black. So
their own black township.
If
they called it freedom.
If we do
Shout
this enough, there's so much land out here that is available for us to buy that we can do this on. If we have enough of this, we can have our own governed little part of town. We can have our own policing. We can have our own fire stations. We can have our own grocery stores. We can have our own everything. Then out of this group of everything going on, all say there's 10 different little communities in Georgia that did this, right? You get your politicians from there. You get your fucking governors from there. You get your fucking justices from there. You get your fucking police chiefs from there. Because in this area, they know what the fuck we know what we're doing and how we need to be in our own community.
No, right. No, see, we can tell who's a criminal and who's just a black student going home from school. So this is the thing, too, I want to say to this. Because when we say those things, and I concur everything, I agree with you wholeheartedly. But I want to throw this out there, and this is not directed towards you because I know you know better. When people hear us say those things, understand we do realize that black Americans have been doing these things for centuries. But we do understand that the reason why we don't have the remnants of these things is because I want people to pay attention. In history, since Reconstruction, black people have forged and built some of the most profitable cities in America, including cities like Chicago. The original cohabitants of California were black people. This is all documented fact. Don't take my word for it. Do your research. I say that to say this. With the Rosewoods and with the Tulsa, Oklahomas, and with the, Central Park was once a black community. What they have done in this history is when they see black townships that are prospering, they come, they bomb it, they burn it down, they accuse some black man in that town of potentially maybe raping a white woman or looking at a white woman or whistling at a white woman or, and then that's an excuse to come in, rob, loot, and pillage. And we're talking about a people that their ancestors got here robbing, looting, and pillaging.
It's something that they always do, always will do. That shit's instilled in their DNA at this point, bro.
So I'm saying if there's things that we're going to talk about in society about the Hispanic family and about the black community and about the gay community and about the Asian community, we have to start talking too about the white community. Like,
but hold on, it can't be. Hold on, let me further elaborate on mine before you
go ahead.
Go off.
No, you got it.
But it can't be just do the surface of it. You have to circulate your money in that community.
Well, you have to build it first.
We can't. No, hear what I'm saying. We can't build that community, and then after that community gets built, and we got it running for a couple of years, then go put all our money in someone else's community.
I don't think that would happen.
Still has to be. I'm not saying it might not, but it might.
I don't think it has happened historically. Is what I'm saying.
Because in the age that we're in now, right, that is what's happening.
Well, no, I get
you
that.
said it yourself.
You're right.
We always
I agree with you there.
Circulate our money.
No, I agree with you there.
Everybody
we're saying two totally different things.
Ours.
I'm saying that in the past, when black people have done the very thing that you employed black people to do today, the reason why we haven't inherited those cities from our ancestors
they blow that shit
is
up.
because of what the white infrastructure, the white power, the white power infrastructure. Hold on, the white power infrastructure will go in there, tear that shit up. I agree with you on the part where you're saying in today's terms, in modern times, yes, we need to start circulating our dollars better. But at the same time, two things could be true. We need to build it, and that's why the Joe Budden Network, That's why shit, even to an extent, so what Charlemagne is doing with iHeart, Title. How many niggas we
if
know?
Charlemagne
How many
does
niggas
that
we
right
know
at
are paying
iHeart,
$9.99 to listen to
it'd be
music
good.
and not or I listen to niggas all the time. They be like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, man, I couldn't even find that. Oh, so and so came out with an album. Word, I didn't know that. And I'm like, that's because you're on a white streaming service that doesn't value the black experience. So when you go to Title, when Brandy decides she coming out with a fucking album, whether you like Brandy's music or not, she's a black iconic figure in this culture. You shouldn't have to search for that. That should be shown to you. Hey, Brandy dropped something. Especially if we're talking about an urban music space. See, I could see if you were fucking on Apple or some shit like that and Spotify strictly, and you weren't really like checking for urban hip hop, R&B, soul music. That makes sense. But if that's what you're checking for,
do you know what's crazy? It's how fucking
you
confusing
need to be on Title, man.
Spotify actually is. To go find some shit on Spotify and
Right.
actually stream it and play it right,
Right.
it's a pain in the ass. Like it's not
Shit
not
is
set
easy
up.
as fuck on Title.
It's set up easy. You know what I'm saying? Like Title, I
It's
can
set
go on
up.
Title right
Yeah.
now, go search something and stream it easy.
And it's the experience I appreciate about Title, fam, is that it's so much music out there, fam. I even heard Hove say this because somebody, I can't remember where, but they asked him. They was like, "Yo, music is whack right now," something like that, and he was just like, "Nah, it's still dope music." He said, "You gotta comb through it."
Yeah, you're just
Now,
not hearing it.
What I took from that, and I was like, damn, he's kind of right, because I have this arguments with some of my other friends. They be like, the cats that niggas grew up doing music and all this shit with, niggas is whack now. And I'd be like, bro, it's really nice niggas out there. I was telling niggas about Griselda before they popped. They didn't want to hear it. Next thing I know, these niggas is hitting me about this new group called Griselda. I'm like, nah, nigga, that's not what it is.
We've been
But
listening
niggas,
to Griselda.
what this new streaming service has done, it exposed the lazy cats.
Mm-hmm.
See, some of you, if you're from a certain era of hip hop, you enjoy the experience of finding music because you
called
grew up
crate digging. If
No,
for
no,
you
let
young
me,
motherfuckers
no,
that don't,
that's just
crate digging.
that's for niggas in your realm. I'm talking about the fans. Fans don't necessarily crate dig.
Nah,
What I'm
but
talking
crate
about,
digging
don't
could be
take me
going
off.
to the old CD stores and combing through the CDs.
Yeah, well, that's combing.
They didn't go
that's
through
what I'm saying.
that.
It's combing. What I'm saying is, niggas grew up grabbing a Source magazine, and that was your advertisement for this fat, dark-skinned kid named Biggie, nigga, from Brooklyn, that they said was spitting crazy. And all you had to do is read the article, maybe get a little insert of a couple bars and kind of imagine how they spit and be like, yo, that's the same nigga that signed H-Town and Jodeci and them.
And
yeah, I'm gonna check this dude out.
And the other thing is like the newer generation isn't gonna get is like music television, because that's where a lot of us got our shit too.
Yeah, no, you expanded me. You expanded me.
When the first album I ever bought with my own money, nigga, was Busta Rhymes' The Coming, his first album, nigga. And that came off niggas seeing Woo-Ha come on the BET one time. It was like, nigga,
yeah, see, and you're a little younger than me.
I need that album.
But I get that. Like I get what I'm talking about is just the culture. Like they wasn't accepting us, fam. So we had to be on the outside looking in. So when I say I'm walking in, nigga, it was stores that didn't even have a source.
Bro.
Fam? I'm at the store like, yo, mom, you going to get some milk? I'm going to go see, I got a couple dollars, I'm going to get this source.
If you didn't
they don't even have it here.
If you didn't have a fucking Sam Goody or Warehouse Records, Tower Records or something, you didn't have a Source magazine. You didn't have a Vibe magazine.
I can't say that. That's in Nevada. That's up this way. Nigga, if Ma and Pa stores ran hip hop.
Yeah.
Ma and Pa. Even in Vegas, back in the day, it was Odyssey Records, fam. That's if you were anything in hip hop, you were coming through Odyssey Records.
That's like Rasputin's in
right,
Cali.
exactly. There's record. That's what ran the industry, and this in true form to capitalism. Let's get these Ma and Pa motherfuckers the fuck out of here.
Yep.
How we gonna do this shit? That's when all of a sudden, cause nigga, let me tell you, a Sam Goody didn't want no fucking rappers in their store. Like these type of store warehouse, that shit, it wasn't built on hip hop culture.
Tower was.
Hip hop was taking over. And nigga, you're not gonna make money if you don't start selling these black kids CDs.
Right.
These black kids records. If you don't have the music and shit that they want, because guess what? The music that they want is now also all of a sudden the music that white kids want.
Yeah, all the white kids want that.
So
shit.
it's true and form to everything in America. When white kids start liking it, it's accessible. Hip hop was disrespectful and only for gangsters and thugs and ignorant people until it crossed over. And now you can put out some of the most ignorant shit in the world, and motherfuckers will be down with it because that's how they see our culture anyway.
Hey, let's keep it 100. So, you know, I do from the videography and shit. I'm always, you know, I'll be filming shows and shit in Reno, getting paid to do that. So you'll see a lot of these fucking acts and a lot of these dumb acts and these young acts and a lot of these young niggas and shit. Their crowd is mainly white kids, bro. Young ass white kids.
No, that's hip hop. Let me tell you something,
and that's
bro.
crazy as shit. Like in Reno, at that you think black kids barely even see a lot of black people with that shit.
Dog, you think black kids made Biggie and Tupac go platinum? So this is the way hip hop and this culture works. Black culture, we create a thing amongst ourselves. It takes off between us. We were taught by sheer brutality and murder to stay away and do our own thing, stick to ourselves. But one thing about us, man, we are some of the most welcoming people on earth.
For sure.
So when a white kid is standing outside of a juke joint 3 nights out of the week in an all-black neighborhood in Memphis, Tennessee, Ike Turner invites him in and teaches him how to play the guitar. You welcome, Elvis.
Right.
Right? What we do, we don't do that whole shit like, oh, you're not us, so you can't do this. We just be like, yo, you like this? Yeah, this shit's dope, right? This how you do it. And then if you end up being nice at it, guess what we gonna say? Yo, you dope.
Yeah, let's keep it to piggyback off. Let's keep it talk about that. Like, how many big ass country artists out there that are black?
There's a handful.
Okay,
but we created the genre.
But what I'm saying, like superstars like fucking Jay-Z, none. Where are there in the rock and roll industry superstars like Jay-Z that are black? None. Let's talk about.
Well, no, since on that trend, let me tell you something, my guy. Hip hop has more of a fighting chance because of the independent nature of it. Mm-hmm. But dog, what do you think they're trying to do to this rap culture now? That's the importance to the industry of the plant.
The crazy
of the plant. Now we get into the plant.
Here's the crazy shit.
Because you start the plant before you can have a garden. Before you could take over the garden, you need a plant.
The crazy shit that blows my mind right now.
And so what happens is they whiten out the culture.
So this is where this is what I'm gonna say on that is that hell yeah, because there's fucking country music that sounds just like R&B music. Well, it'll reference hip hop. I heard a fucking country song that said something about teach me how to Dougie in it.
Well, listen, this is the thing.
It's a country ass song.
I want people to get off that whole it's country. See,
no, here's what I'm saying.
Country was stolen too.
I get it, but we were never supposed to be. We're hella guests in that. We were never. They took that over, and we weren't really supposed to be let back into that, nigga.
Now I get you on that. Saying.
They took it over, and we weren't supposed to be because they know what's gonna happen if they let us back into it, and black people take over again. You have niggas listening to country music because it's niggas doing country music, and then what happens?
They don't care.
We take over a fucking industry, then you get overran by us again, and then you're fucking fearing for that. They don't
have that much control, but they have a lot of power. And let me explain what I mean by that.
Because culturally, country and
let me explain what I mean by that?
Never went together.
No, let me explain what I mean by that. They don't have a lot of control, but they have a lot of power. See, they own when all the disco fucking record labels realized that disco wasn't gonna make it, but those other kids on the other side of the pond with that hip hop shit, they were catching fire. They just switched into hip hop labels. They just turned all those rock labels that was like, get the fuck out of here, the Russell Simmons and them early on, and like, we ain't playing that shit. That's not music. Those are the same labels right now that are leading labels in hip hop. It's the lack of information of black people as and artists and creators in general. We didn't understand the business then, and that's okay because they didn't let us in the business. It's their business. If me and you start a business model today, teach it to our children and make them vow never to let anybody that don't look like us in on it, and it's successful and it's all predicated off of other people's talents, it's fail proof. See, what happens is if a fucking nigger named Barry Gordy decides, you know what? I ain't your fucking slave. So you know what? I'm gonna do my own fucking thing. Fuck you, white boy, right? And then he starts Motown Records. And every hurdle they threw at him, he dodged it, he jumped over it, Nah, you don't want to rent no space to me? Fuck it. I own this house. I'm going to turn this house into the recording studio.
Hitville, USA.
Right? Shout out to Detroit. And then these black people, nigga, they trust me. We got something over here, right? That's the first time we seen that. And then you got to have a Sam Cooke, a Negro that got so much swag and business savvy that's like, you know what? Fuck y'all. I'm my own man. I'm gonna own my own shit. And when I do make money, you can't just throw white women, cocaine, and fancy cars in front of me and think that I'm not gonna take care of my business. So I'm gonna reinvest in myself. And I got this beautiful queen behind me, and me and her building together, and she's smart business wise, and I'm taking on this. And he was Jay-Z before Jay-Z. Owned his own masters, shit like that. I mean, that's why they killed him. But that's Sam Cooke, a legend because of that. Every once in a while, in a blue moon, amongst the slaves, there's going to be one that rises up. There's going to be one that be like, yo, why would I take that bag when I could just slowly get my own bag and then never own you nothing? Mind your business. This is my business over here. Mind your business. I don't need your help. You can't tell me what's fly. Go find one white executive that literally can go into any urban neighborhood and pick a sound that hasn't rendered yet and say, yo, that shit right there, that's going to be the new Crump. Let's sign him. They can't do that.
There's one.
Who?
Rubin.
I'm not giving Rick Rubin that. Because he's never done it before. He's never done it before. I love Rick Rubin. That shit was brung to him. This hip hop. This is hip hop. He was in the early stages of hip hop. He's seen it. Hip hop was raw.
So you don't think
hip hop
that he could go find
let me finish my statement for. Hip hop was raw and pure at that time. There was no different genre of hip hop. Nigga, it was just hip hop. There was no crunk. There was no trap music. You know, niggas wasn't separating backpackers from motherfucking everyday rap.
No, I get that, but
hip hop wasn't that mature.
That he could find you don't think he could find a new sound in hip hop?
Why he hasn't? And it's because he knows that. He's smart enough to understand. Let me go into the genre of music that I was trained for. That's why he has Grammys in country and rock and shit like that. Because that's his ear. Rick Rubin is not racist, and he loves good music. He understood, like, this is dope music, and I like the freedom of it. He brung the punk rock wing into Def Jam because he understood, hey, these punk rock kids are really the white hip hop kids. These the have-nots. And they're intertwined with the kids that want to be down with the have-nots. Every fucking black kid in America ain't broke and didn't live in an urban-ass community. They learned hip-hop on TV, too. They learned hip-hop from MTV and all that shit, too. We know some of them. And that's not a knock on them. No. Right?
No.
That's not a knock on them. That's their experience. What Rick Rubin did in that era was because of their hand-in-hand marriage of like, you know what? Russell Simmons got the streets. He has the ultimate hip-hop credibility. And then Rick Rubin is bringing in that other side that helps it cross over, that helps it go uptown, that helps white kids in the suburbs hear just enough rock in it to give a LL Cool J a chance to hear his lyrical prowess and his ability and be like, yo, I like this shit. Yo, there's a skill set there. Because they're going to try to do it themselves and they're going to realize they can't do it and that shit's hard. And they're like, damn, he's dope. I like this. Now you got a hip hop fan. I might still go listen to some punk rock shit, but I'm listening to this hip hop shit over here too. And that's kind of years later what I was saying about Eminem. What Eminem did is when it came to the rhyme spitters, the lyrical assassins, white kids that grew up listening to the shit that we listen to can sit back and be like, damn, finally, there's one that looks like me. You feel me? And what happens is Eminem, his style of rap doesn't typically make you a rap star. But when you're a white kid that does that, it's respected by the streets and the culture as a talent. Like, yo, that nigga can spit though. Because everybody even niggas that don't like Eminem, they're not going to say that he can't rap. Right. They just don't like his shit.
That's never the argument is that the nigga can't rap.
But what happens, I think what a lot of black kids and a lot of the kids from the culture get turned off by M is that, let's say if Eminem was a black dude and he was going to do 2 to 3 mil. Well, because he's Eminem, put a 9 on that. That's about to be 9 mil because you're going to have about 6 motherfucking million white kids that don't know no rappers, don't listen to rap. They parents probably don't even let them listen to rap. But they're getting their introduction to the culture via Eminem. That's why as a Jay Dilla fan, I was always hurt. I always felt like Eminem, and this is just me fanning out, Like, man, you
that's
should have.
real shit. You should have had a fucking Jay Dilla beat. How you from Detroit and you ain't? You don't got a Jay Dilla beat. You don't got a Slums Village
features and shit. Like,
I just felt nothing. Frank the Tank. You don't got a Black Milk at least beat. None of that shit.
So I just kind of always felt like, damn, like, what are we doing? But that's all I'm saying. But you're on the Detroit I'm not shit. I wasn't shitting on. I want to make it clear. I wasn't shitting on Rick Rube. You know what I'm saying? I got mad love for Rick Rube. I was just saying that, like, in today's climate, and to further my point on that, it's not even trying to be racist. It's just that when the music derives from a culture, you have to truly be in the culture to be a part of that wheel that kicks the next thing out. So some kid in the projects living in extreme poverty, to whereas if he was another race of kid living in a different country, people would send money to his neighborhood because it's so fucked up. But we don't look at it like that because it's right here in America. That kid is going to create a sound. That sound is going to catch on in his city, first in his neighborhood, then in his city. And then it's going to hit the airwaves in nearby cities. And then some big artist is going to be touring in that city, shooting videos in that city, hear that sound and jack it a little bit. And then if the streets hold it down, they're going to put pressure on him. Like, yo, you stole that from Doc On, nigga. And then he going to reach out and do a feature with Doc On. And then that sound is born. Understand, the outsiders, they're in those corporate offices like, do you see that?
Right.
There's a new one.
Right.
There's a new one. Understand, and this is not no racist shit, but understand, there's a white kid that's listening to that. There's some other kid that's not from that culture. And we have to be fair, because if everybody else gets to have a fucking culture, so do we. So do we. And somebody else that's not from that culture, that does not fight for that culture in any other space, where it comes to people like Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, some sideline motherfucker that's amused, that's amused with this culture that was born out of fucking abject pain and poverty. They like it. It's cool. It makes the girls like you.
Right.
So they're in their room, in their fucking they're in their $250,000, $500,000 home.
Edgy now. You're
that their parents provided for them,
kid that
right?
That listens to rap music.
And I'm not just picking on white kids, nigga. Any other nationality that's not African American.
Oh, hey, you know what?
Let me finish. So they practice this, they perfect it, and then they emulate it. And the money and the bag comes with, hey, you see that kid? He don't look like them, so he can be the vehicle to make this a household thing. Because guess what? Nobody's impressed with a black girl that can sing. But if you bring an Adele out that looks the way she does, sounds the way she does, and then can sing like that's the new thing. That's what culture vulturism is. You come in a fan. You come in friendly to the culture. But then you want to own the label. You want to own masters and royalties. You want to dictate who gets what award for what. Who the fuck are you? And that's my thing to all these label heads and executives, to all the owners of these DSPs, not named Flea and not named Sean fucking Carter. Who the fuck are you? If you're not Sean Puffy Combs, who the fuck are you to try to dictate this? It's like Joe was saying, bro. Who made the rule that 1,500 streams is the equivalent to one album sale? Who made that rule?
Right, that's hell, yeah.
They didn't ask no artist that. No artist was in there when they made that rule. That don't even make sense, bro.
1,500
Go tell
streams.
McDonald's 1,500 burgers, nigga, equals the equivalence of one burger sold. And watch what they do to you.
One value meal sold.
Watch what they do.
They're going to laugh at you.
They're going to look at you like you're a fucking idiot. That doesn't even make sense. And only a person that can't dictate culture
is going to do some bullshit.
Only a person
like
that can't make a new sound. Only a person that can't convince people to dress like them is going to make some shit like that. Those are the only people that think like that. Hey, I want to own their masters. Hey, Akeem and Dre, you want to sign with this DSP? We want you to sign over here. But we don't want you to take none of the shit that you created when you leave. We want to own it. Fuck you. That don't even make sense when we're talking common sense. It's not like that in any other fucking field.
Well, you know what they say.